Welcome to the Porn Reboot podcast, where you get practical tips to gaining control over your porn or sex addiction. We help ambitious men end their out-of-control sexual behavior with pornography, sex, and masturbation so that you can maximize your life, perform at your potential, and remain in control in the driver's seat, which is where you have to be in order to gain or maintain the success you want in life. I'm your host, J.K. Amazi, certified sex and porn addiction recovery coach. Welcome to the episode. Brothers, anyone can talk the talk, but not everyone can walk the walk. And that's why here at Porn Reboot, where we do walk the walk, I'll be sharing every few episodes some snippets of success stories and testimonials from brothers who are in our implementation intensive and in our free groups. And they're going to be sharing some of the results they've been getting so that this can further inspire you to take action on all the different tips and techniques that you learn while listening to the Porn Reboot podcast. Enjoy.
All right, what's going on, Reboot team? Chris here with another testimonial from somebody coming to us from our exclusive Reboot implementation program. And this guy, I know for a fact, has a lot to say. He's been very active in our program, and we're going to get to know his story, what he's working on, and how he's feeling. I am here with Mustafa, and I'm very gracious that, he's dedicated his time to share a bit about his story. So let's start from the very beginning, brother. How did you first discover the program?
For a long time, I was searching for this program because in Turkey, I live in Turkey, and I try to find kind of programs, and I go to psychologists for a while, but I couldn't take positive talks about the general problems in my life. But I'm sure that the main problem, the basic problem, was the addiction, was the porn and masturbation addiction. If I had a chance to figure these out, I knew that I could be the best version of myself. The other problems in my life, they will flourish. They will extinct. Unfortunately, here in my country, there is no such a programs. That's why I started to, look at the Google, search on it, and I find out the implementation program. And there was other programs too, like 12 steps, etc. And then I messaged JK, and thanks to him, I want to say from here, he returns my messages, and he said, okay, and he sent me one link. Via this link, I talked with GT10, and he informed me about the program, about, financial things, etc. And I said, why not? Let me try it. If you want me to speak fairly, when I started to this program, I thought that it's not going to happen. It's not going to work for me. But I applied, and I have been 3 months in this program. That's it.
Thank you for sharing that, man. And as far as, you saying there not being a lot of programs like this, I totally know what you mean. When I was searching for a program myself, and here I am even in the United States, right? When it comes to things like, alcohol or other kinds of, substances, there are plenty of programs for that. But when it comes to whether it is something like pornography or sex, even internet addiction, it seems like it's not as common of a talked about topic or subject. But
yeah, exactly. This is what I mean. Yeah, this is what I mean. Yeah, there is a lot of programs, but the program, like implementation program, mainly focus on porn and masturbation addiction. It's rare. I saw JK, and he's doing great job. He wrote about his life. I read it, and it's great. Yeah, then I said, okay, why not? Maybe he's an expert in this issue. And he had also, when he was 20, he was addicted to porn and addiction, and masturbation. I said, yeah, this guy must help me, because he knew exactly what I have suffered and what problems in my life. He knew, he took these problems in his life, and he became successful person. Right now he's porn free man. And I said, maybe this is the best program for me to apply.
amazing, man. Shout out to JK. This is his baby. But most of all, it's a community. Everybody that's joined this program in their own way has had their exact moment like that, where it's like, you know what? No one else is talking about this and no one else seems to understand what I'm going through or feeling. So let's do this, you know? So let me ask you, as far as, some of the things that you've learned so far, while you've been in the program, like, why don't I ask you this? Like, what have been some tools that you've picked up along the way?
Yeah, I have learned the morning routine, which is great, and the Vin wall, because when you are addicted to this problem, your brain focus on negativity in your life. You can't see the positive aspects, the positive things that happening in your life. For example, you have parents, you have friends, you have job, you have salary, and unfortunately, you can't focus on the positive things. You just focus on negative things. So the wind wall is the biggest thing. The other one is the morning routine. You wake up, you hydrate, get hydration, start your day in a positive way. Put aim every day in your brain. As you taught us, the brain cannot differentiate between real life and the imagination life. So that we every day before we start to go to work or go to holiday, imagine ourselves, in the future. So yeah, it's a positive thing to start your day. And the best thing I have learned from this implementation program is that I share my thoughts in the group without shame, and I have an AAP like me. He is suffering like me, and I can ask him whatever I have, and he can ask me, responsible to each other, which is a great thing. And this group implementation program, I have learned the AP. I have met with the AP.
So encouraging, man. Like talk to me about that. Like that aspect of accountability and really the community, like all guys, like we
Mm.
said, that have all had their own moments. Like these like I feel understood, Like talk to me a little bit about, having an accountability partner that has an
Yeah.
idea of, where you're coming from and what you might be feeling.
Yeah, having an accountable partner is a great thing in your life, because even your parents, your friends, sometimes they can't understand you, because they don't have this addiction. They don't know how to act towards you, Sometimes you can be so irritable person, sometimes you can be sad, sometimes you can be so happy, your feelings, it's not stable, it's not same, because this addiction. And when you talk with accountable partner, he had same things with you, he had some issue, because in general we live the same life. We go to work, we come back. In the work we have some stressful events, some relationship problems, etc. In general we live in a same pattern. When you feel stuck with something, you can reach out to him and tell him about your problem, your issues. Even talking with him makes you feel better. So yeah, me having an accountable partner is the best thing I have ever been.
It's great, man. It's the reminder that you're not alone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
I also wanted to ask you this because I love how you mentioned the tool that we have in the program called the Win Wall. I know before I joined the program, dude, I used to have this notebook where I used to do like the whole like nofap thing where it's like if I were to have a slip, it was literally like day 1, day 3, day 15, day 30, whatever. And if I were to have a slip, I still have this journal saved. It's somewhere. I'll probably show you guys in the group. But, like, I would just beat myself up, like, "How dare you? Like, you lost all your powers, you lost all your progress." And I wouldn't give myself any credit for, like, any good things that were going on, Like, I wouldn't count my wins. And I wanna hear from your experience because I can certainly share mine, but I wanna hear from you. It might sound like a simple question, but why is it so important to count your wins, in this process?
Counting your win, remembering that you are not a loser, and you have something you accomplished successfully. Because of this issue, I have lost my job, I have lost my girlfriend, I have lost my friends. Because time that we live right now, everybody wants to cheer up. Nobody wants someone who is negative, who is a loser. Whenever you go to cafe with your friends, if you talk about your problems, the next meeting they're not going to call you or for gathering, because they thought in their mind that you are a negative person and stressful person. So nobody wants to live in a stressful life, because life is already stressful here, even in the Middle East, yeah, in Turkey, because our neighbor right now for 30 days we have, actually we are not in war, but we feel the war, yeah, and it's been a long time. There is Iraq, there is Syria. These geographic humans are really depressed, and they want someone to cheer them out, to cheer them up. Counting your win remembers that, okay, despite all of these things in my life, I can still alive. I can be still stand up despite all of the negative things around me. So it's encourage yourself, encourage your family, your friends to stand up and live again and again. And remembers that every day you wake up, you have a chance to be better version of yourself. But if you don't count them, as I mentioned before, your brain focus on negative, and every day tells you you're a loser, you lost this one, you lost this thing, you lost this opportunity, you're not going to accomplish. The finances is hard, the environment in Middle East is hard, there is no need to try new thing, the money is not stable, relationship is not stable, your healthy sometimes can be hard, your body cannot maintain your desires. So, the brain starts to think about these. Yeah, they are real. I know there is a chance. But if we stay focused on negativity, we can't improve. Yeah, despite all of these things, there are some people who became successful in this geography, right? Means that they focus on the positive things, and they make a risk pattern, accountable risk they took. So at the end of the day, they became successful, in their marriage, successful in their work, successful in their social capital, physical capital. They're handsome, their hair, their skin color, their mood is high. They go to dance, they go out, they go to holiday, etc. They live their life. They don't stuck in one thing and get depression and go dark every day. So we have to stop, because we live and we get breathe. Unless we get it, we have to struggle and, yeah, do our best to accomplish. I know. And you know what? The implementation program is the great thing for me to find out that every person in this group, they are great people. Yeah, they're really great people. They're good human beings. They have accomplished. They are really clever people, because they know themselves. They know what's the problem in themselves. It's a great thing. So, but unfortunately, maybe for someone, when they're young, so young, they got arrested by others. Yeah, and maybe for others, they got arrested family members, by family members. The things that they don't have in their mind, they couldn't control situations. That's why they are addiction right now, addiction to something. They use these addiction for, how can I say, for medicate their past. Yeah, so that this is what I'm saying.
I really appreciate your perspective. Honestly, I think it's really, really powerful. And it makes me think of how the things that we speak about and make every effort we can to focus on in this program goes beyond just the internet, right? Goes beyond just, you know, sexually compulsive behavior. Like, it's life, like, how do you want to live your life, and
Yeah.
what are you choosing to align yourself with? And you have the choice in what that is, despite what's going on around you. I mean, we're talking about a world that is in such need of that kind of hope and that kind of joy, So I
Yeah,
really, really,
exactly.
it's really inspiring stuff, and I really appreciate you sharing your perspective on that. I suppose my final question for you, brother, if this makes it to the YouTube channel or the podcast, if somebody ends up watching or listening to our conversation today, odds are pretty high that they might be in need of that kind of hope, or they might have some sort of history with compulsive behaviors and just don't know what to do. Is there anything you might want to share with that particular person?
Yeah, I would say that just be aware of yourself and just stop thinking about your life, what's going on. and don't be shocked about your life. Everything can happen. Someone you loved most can break you in the middle of the way. Sometimes your parents, your friends can be death. You can be, you can be alone. And just remember why you start and remember your mission. I believe that the God created us for a mission. Nothing in the world is randomly created. Every creature, everything is working for something else. If you don't find your vision in this life, it's not going to work for you. You're going to feel that I am a person that useless, I'm just a randomly person. But no, you're not. You have something special in your soul, in your body. Just be aware of that and use it for others. Maybe you are rich, just use your money for poor people to get them, to make them happy. Maybe you are talented, just use it, show the world. And thank God we are living in a great technological world, technological time, like that. Like, let's right now we are doing it. Let's go back 20 years back. We didn't have internet, and I wouldn't know you. You didn't know me because I'm from Turkey. There is 1,000 miles away. Yeah, so use it. Let's say you have aim, just go and do your best for your aims. And the end of the day, when you lie on the bed, we have talked a lot about that. You don't be regretful. When you look back to your history, to your life, nobody wants to cry. Nobody wants to feel the regretful feelings in their soul. Now the time right now is come, and I have to change. I have lost enough. It's been 30 years. I have 30 years more, maybe less, maybe more. But I have to leave. As Muhammad Ali said one day, they asked him, he said, I hate going to gym, but I wanna live the life that after this match, I want to all world tells me that a champion. And now I want to live my life, the rest of my life, as a born free man. Yeah, this is my aim.
I love it, man. I really appreciate your encouragement and your perspective. And seriously, thank you so much for making and taking the time to share your insight, and all the continued success to you, brother.
I'm JK, your brother in this struggle. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Porn Reboot podcast. I'll speak to you later on in the week. If you found this episode helpful, here are 4 ways I can help you with your out-of-control sexual behavior for free. The first way is to grab a free copy of my book, Confessions of a Porn Addict, 7 Secrets of Porn-Free Men at elevatedrecovery.org, or visit the link in the description below this episode. The second way is, if you're not sure where to start, but you'd like to learn more about my team and I, if you'd like to spend time with like-minded professionals and business owners who are controlling their behavior, then join our free and confidential group, the Porn Reboot group on Facebook. There's a link to join in the description below this episode. The third way is, if you need help right now because you have a burning issue, your behavior with pornography is hurting you mentally or emotionally, you're about to lose your relationship, you want to live up to your potential, be an authentic man, and free yourself from shame, guilt, and underachieving, then click on the link in the description below this episode that says free coaching call. And the fourth way is to leave us a 5-star review if you enjoy this podcast, so that we can reach more men who are struggling in silence and bring back the lessons we learn from coaching them to freedom.